I get it.
And here we are in eternally sunny Egypt.
Felt a bit like eternally sunny Egypt in Korea today.
Yeah, it's pretty warm out. It's definitely the springtime. Winter is a thing of the past. It's very fast winter as well.
Was a bearable one.
Yeah, I mean, we had a couple days where it was just like, damn, it's cold. And, you know, a couple snow flurries here and there, but overall, it seemed like it was just a couple weeks where it was just
I know
like
Korean weather
frigid.
updates really apply to the global stream a lot.
Yeah.
They need to know. You know, that's the burning question. They're not interested in this Overwatch nonsense.
No, this is just an extension for me to really just start trying to debut my weatherman career.
Exactly. It's a backup brand for you.
Yeah.
You're pretty straight-laced. I could see you as a weatherman.
Esports is just my jumping point. Yeah.
Well, we're looking at Rogue, who will be on defense to start. Yeah, I can count them. It's pretty easy to count. 1, 2, 3. 3 DPSs for Rogue.
Oh my god, look at you.
I know. I've learned. I was a Hearthstone caster. I had to be able to count lethal.
How far you've come since you got to Korea. Now I can count to 3.
Hey, as long as you're proud of me, it's fine.
I'm so proud of you. Here we go. I was mentioning the Widowmaker. Seems like we're going to have it. No Mercy, though. A couple with this one, but Grieve, you're looking to line up some of those juicy headshots. Been around from the left flank so far. Not going to spot anybody.
When we saw X6 attacking with the Widowmaker, it was more about what it forced defensively from his opponent.
He gets rid of Nico off the bat. That's going to be a very nice start here for AOD as they try to push in. Nox going down as well. Lose the Gorilla. But you can see Andy still coming out very much on top of these exchanges. Wins goes down. A nice sleep dart coming through from Unco. Helps them take out Erster, but AKM gets answered. Grieve up on the high ground in the archway. Coming up with the kills, and already Mighty getting that first tick on the point. Rogue, how much can they contest this?
The opening picks and the long run back means they got position on the point and then position for Widowmaker to have a lot of access to the squishy members of Rogue. We see Soon occupying the point.
Going back in right at the last second here. Soon already using the recall, going low. Dashes his way out, gets healed up by the Ana from behind. Toss at the pulse bomb, won't find his stick as he dies. And AOD continue ticking this one up. See Nox pushing forward, trying to just buy more time for his team, but he'll get booped off right at the last second, gets taken out. And the first cap comes through. AOD almost 7 minutes on the clock.
And AKM split spawned a lot as well.
They're going to try to snowball this.
They will.
3 members dead on the side of Rogue. They're just pushing in. They have ultimates ready to go with the Primal Rage and the Attack Visor. So Mighty AOD just storming in onto the point, trying to get as much ground as they possibly can. Attack Visor out from DM. Looking for a target. Everybody hugging back around the side of the pillars. He won't get much done with that, but the sound barrier comes down, so AOD really committing forward, trying to get this cap through. Soon gets taken out by Erster, dashing over, slashing away with the Dragon Blade, comes up with the double kills, he gets rid of Wins, and AOD, the first tick finally coming through for them, gaining a bit of ground here, as one after the other, Rogue just tries to pile in, but they keep getting taken out.
And the respawn times are short, but for now being completely harangued off the point. Widowmaker taken out, nice stuff there by Wins.
Gets the drive-by, but he pays for that one with his Life is Thorn cut. Takes him out, and that's just going to be the capture. 6 minutes in the time bank. Mighty AOD. Good lord.
And if you compare Rogue's play on two-point capture to their play on the other map types, you do see that this statistic of playing so little two-point capture, I think was pretty clear. You know, AKM being caught overextending on defense. Didn't really feel like they had their timings down to any degree of comparison to what they've been able to do and the level of cleanness they were able to pull off on the earlier maps. And the 6-minute time bank is so often a death sentence for teams trying to contest the biggest we've seen so far this season, by far.
Where you can see a bit of what looks like frustration there on the face of Nico. Head in his hand in his land debut, and the first one really to get picked off there on the side of Rogue. And Mighty AOD, the floodgates open from there. They pour onto the point, and they snowball that so hard.
That's something you have to remember. They will be forced to play Assault every single match they play on the OGN stage because it is the third of the 5 maps that we play. So this will definitely be something they need to be target practicing with their scrim practice, you'd have to say, because first impression wasn't good for Rogue.
Definitely not. They could pull off full hold, maybe that would change our minds a bit, but either way, the defense was still lacking quite a lot of life.
We'll see how they want to open. For now, we will inspect Mighty AOD. We'll be running once again the balance between high ground control and also the dive of Winston, D.Va, and Tracer.
Alright, Rogue, let's see how they can match this.
So they'll be running Pharmacy and the diving duo of Nico and Soon.
See how AKM fares this time over on the Pharah. King's Row wasn't the most convincing.
His job will be similar to a Widowmaker's, trying to get people under the cover of the house next to the point. It's already a mini victory in its own. Widowmaker and Pharah can do that. Both do that by patrolling the high ground.
Finds a couple shots in onto Fate as they drop down on the low ground. Fate going low, will get taken out as soon finds the kill. Nice opening here for Rogue, but can they get onto the point because of this is going to be the question. AKM finding that high ground, but he gets taken out. Thorncut from behind, just coming round after round into him.
Yeah, Unko wasn't with him. Wasn't there damage boosting or healing the Pharah.
And now they both go down. Thorncut single-handedly taking out both of the components of that Pharmacy composition, and Rogue will get stopped in their tracks without a support.
AKM played as if he was being pocketed, was not, and thus fell very confidently there.
That final exit kill there onto the side of Soon, but they won't be able to get him. But Mighty already a nice victory coming through from them.
Time bank continues to tick. You're not allowed a lot of misfires when you have let up a 6-minute time bank. Almighty to play with.
Drop down right into the middle of several people with the pulse bomb. Won't find his stick, so Soon not going to come up with any kills. Now gets that heal deny coming out. Forces out the recall, dashes off the point to keep himself alive. Well, the Winstons chasing in onto each other. The DPS and the supports are dying on the side of Rogue. They're just getting kicked off one after the other. Soon going low, melee to the face. DM comes up with the kill.
Yeah, both supports being among the first 3 to die meant that push once again was going to be stalled. Rogue looking for signs of life, looking for a compelling engage for now. Really found the formation they want onto this point A of Anubis. They're trying to get into high ground, but now being chased down by the monkey.
The push here coming through from Nox, but maybe biting off more than he can chew. That attack visor comes through with a nano boost, looking for a hit, turns, flicks up, gets an AKM, taking out the barrage. Not going to get anything for him. The res does come out from the side of Unco, bringing him back to life, but is not going to be enough. Wins goes down, and that's going to be the Dragon Blade out from Nico. Needs to do some serious work here. Finds one, pooped away by the Lucios. He tries to chase back in, self-destruct. Connect onto anybody there from Thorncut, but zones them back. And Nico goes down in the end, Fate finishing him off with that Primal Rage. As AOD still hold on. No ticks coming through. A minute and a half here for Rogue, but they finally open up with a couple kills as AKM comes back in with a Pharah, gets rid of Fate, and they'll start the cap coming through.
Yeah, the respawns are close, but this is probably the point where you back away, where Rogue was guilty of overstaying a little bit. So they'll set up their defensive formation with the Sombra on point B. 5 minutes 17, so already 43 seconds slower than the full completion on the side of Mighty AOD's attack.
Yeah, and there's just no ultimates really available for them. They have the sound barrier, but outside of that, not a whole lot of anything. Nico, you can see swapping off the Genji, moves over to the D.Va. So all the damage really going to be on the backs of Soon and AKM.
Kariv on.
Oh, Wins gets taken out on the backside of the fight. Kariv just going forward with the Sombra, finds the kill.
They're going very aggressive. This is another DPS player flexing onto the Sombra like Rascal is famous for on Kongdoo Panthera.
Now looking for Unco. Can he get him? He finishes him off right at the end. Good lord.
Always exciting. You see that extra level of tracking when it's the DPS player flexing on to the Sombra. They are still running single support, so it is just a large flex for the members of Mighty AOD.
Already such a good job here from Kariv. The EMP ready to go. They have the Pulse Bomb as well.
If they can trade EMP for some ult charge on the other members, definitely a worthwhile trade with how fast the claim is there. Soon is on the point, just trying to force the positioning of Mighty. On the meantime, though.
Pushing forward, looking for the hack. Look at the pop there on Nico's mech. Take him out yet again. You can just leave him in that baby deep before forcing him to run all the way back into the spawn. Sacrifice whatever ult charge he has just to get back into the suit.
And then Rogue a force back again. Building up percentage. Nico changes again, of course, just to get the mech back.
But again, you know, any charge that he had towards that self-destruct is now gone. So, in some ways, that's even more brutal than just delaying the respawn of the D.Va. So that zoning tool going to be gone.
And you need it when you're trying to take down a point so close to respawns. Any sort of AoE control is helpful.
Oh, big wrap around. Mercer gets taken out here. AKM finding the first kill. Transcendence coming through, keeping them all alive. Pulse Bomb takes out Fate. Several on the board now.
Gone.
AOD, that's going to be the team wipe coming through, and Rogue will get this cap. 3 minutes, 14 seconds left on the clock. They keep their hopes alive, but still nearly double the amount of time in the bank of mighty AOD.
But so impressive they can spring to life in an instant. That's what the best teams can do. They may be struggling, they may be behind, but in an instant, a full team wipe, not even with, key ultimates being available, gets them the point, gets them a time back. Sure, almost half the time back of what their enemies have, but given this is the game type they have the least time on, they will not be full held, they will full capture the point. And now we see another phase. We could still definitely see this be a closer game 3 than we might have thought.
Yeah. Well, Rogue right back over onto the attack yet again. Just over 3 minutes here that they have to work with. AOD, if they could hold them off, I mean, even if they get the cap, if they could hold them off as long as they did on that last round, they would very much drain out the time bank from Rogue.
Adjustments we see from Rogue on defense this time around. Pretty prototypical stuff coming through from Rogue. Will not be going triple DPS. Does respect something like a Widowmaker with a comp like this.
Hey, Nico didn't have much success on the Genji on attack last time, so he wants to just go ahead and start things off with the Stiva. Keep it tried and true. AKM yet again here on that soldier, so won't be seeing the pharmacy comp either. And honestly, I do like this a lot better for Rogue. This seems to be their bread and butter.
Won't be seeing a Widowmaker opening from Rogue either, so those hoping for that to come out will be frustrated for now.
Maybe in the future, but for now, just poking around, opting into the left flank as they move up onto the high ground. See though, Kriv just sitting well in the back here, alongside his Ana, keeping himself healthy, just firing off the distance.
Soon's ability to occupy the backline supports and DPS has been one of the big things in Rogue's rise.
Very low though, makes his way out, picks up the health pack, doesn't have to use the recall yet, so has that tool so he can go back in, keep poking up for that pulse bomb to get built up. But for now, it's just a war of attrition. Neither team coming up with any picks, not even the mechs going down yet, but I might have spoken too soon. Nico goes low, looks like he gets himself out just in time.
There are comps here, so a lot of eco pushing happening so far.
Nico finally goes down. Riv trying to poke out, almost gets a kill in onto Soon, but he makes it around the corner in time. But now the attack visor is ready to go, as is that nano boost. Do we see the combo? So far the answer is going to be no, but the kills are still coming through from AOD. Nico and Soon both going down as they just push them all the way back to the archway.
This time we do not see any ults used after the first 2 kills. Rogue were guilty of that on King's Row, but not this time. Back away. 3 ultimates in their arsenal.
Yeah, multiple ready to go. It's about to be a 4th one here as the Transcendence comes through from Unco as well. Fate not having the Primal Rage won't be able to smack this Zenyatta away. So we have a minor window, but actually Fate just zipping his way up with his multi-charge. Goes ahead, initiates that Primal Rage immediately. AKM trying to sprint into the Transcendence, will not make it in time. Thorncut takes him out. Big opening here, but Erster is traded. They get Unco. It's just a bit of back and forth here, but the supports to be on the side of AOD here. Sleep and Erster be running their way back in. This gets taken out. Sleep falls as well. Some of the Lucios will be going back and forth. No cap on that point yet with just 1 minute and 15 seconds remaining. Rogue haven't been able to gain anything. No single tick coming through.
We'll continue to engage though because the respawns are further. Tracer goes down as well. Respawns only now getting here from mighty AOD.
Yeah, they gotta try to get back in here. Thorncut dropping down, goes to about half HP on the mech suit, tosses out that self-destruct. Will get taken out in the Baby Diva form, doesn't find any kills, and doesn't really get much zoning done either. And this might just be the cap coming through. No one on the point yet. They get Fate mid-air. They will go ahead and take this one away. A little bit of time added to the bank here for Rogue. Snowball, a very minute opportunity.
Speaking of Snowball, they're going to keep pushing. They want to get position on the point. Withers to still not respawn.
Soon can zone people back. If you get a big pulse bomb, this could be huge. But Kareem, he's got the flank actually, but the dash forward immediately comes out from Nico, denying with the right click, making sure that his teammates are healthy, and Kareem just has to sprint the rest of the way out of here. But on the backside of the fight, Wins and AKM both going down. Might just put a bit of a halt here to the side of Rogue. Don't get a single tick onto that point.
Nice formation from Rogue to back away, but of course then the respawns are coming, and there's DPS threats from the other end to have to respect. So 2 go down, and Rogue will have to retool and reapproach. They need to find some percentage here, given that they need to actually set a target for mighty AOD to have to attack on point B, so the more percentage, the better. As is always the way.
Drift back over onto that Soundbro, trying to build up for that EMP. You got about 30%, but you know how fast that can be stacked up. There you go, speed boost in with the Transcendence. Pulse Bomb coming down from DM, not going to find anything as he tries to dash back around, trying to find a single target, but hasn't gotten anything yet. But Fate has finished off Unco in the meantime. Self-destruct thrown out, not going to find any targets in AKM, all on its own. Some gets jumped on by Fate, who finds a second kill. Looking like this might be the turnaround here for AOD to go ahead and stamp out Rogue, solidify their victory on this first half of the overtime. They finished them all off. Unco, the only one coming up, not going to be able to get back to the point fast enough as that lonely Zenyatta. Hold on the second point completed here for Mighty AOD as they run down the clock.
So no percentage points on that point there. Captured. You have to get that minimum of 1 checkpoint. It was not taken, so 1 checkpoint is the win condition here. The side of Mighty AOD with 6 minutes in the time bank. The boop off of the bridge onto the ulting AKM meant the Soldier got no value, was well chased down and held by the D.Va. Stuff there from Mighty AOD. Now, all action onto a very uphill battle to deny it for this long. If Mighty AOD just go for an eco push after claiming point A, you'd think they'd have enough time to get that single checkpoint with an ult party on point B, but no guarantees just yet.
See, though, things going to get changed up here. Nox coming forward with the Reinhardt. They saw that Widowmaker first time around, so we'll just go ahead, have that big shield to block everybody, keep them safe. But double DPS yet again for Rogue. Meanwhile, triple on the side of Mighty AOD, at least for the moment.
So it does allow them to contest further up, because they don't all have to just dive into the defensive position next to point A, because they have the Reinhardt shield to play around. It does allow them to better collapse on the other 5, but doesn't really give them any more tools to deal with the actual Widowmaker.
Are they going to stick with this is the question. It looks like the answer is going to be yes. Thorncut's actually coming out with a Zenyatta.
They see Reinhardt now, so they now know about the Reinhardt.
Interesting decision here. Fate still going forward on the Winston, jumps in onto the high ground of the Discord Orb, means that he has to retreat very swiftly, does not want to get picked off. Go back forward, poking out where he can, trying to build up for that primal rage. About a quarter of the way there at the moment. Rogue's just going to hold firm on this high ground. A very long way to go if they want to get this full hold on point A. 5.5 minutes in the time bank for Mighty AOD, but Umko goes down. That's going to be a nice opening for them already. Nico going forward, trying to get the exchange, but actually the Mexu gets popped, and that's going to be the headshot. Grief taking out the baby D.Va. Beautiful openings for Mighty AOD as they try to push in almost towards that first tick already. Nox goes down, AKM falls. It seems like Mighty might have just broken this point already for themselves.
Yeah, DM actually had the space to go for these shots. 2 from DM, nice Helix rocket to finish off soon. And yes, this will be the capture.
So, see this one come through. Rogue just have to play all the way back. We'll see if they make any alterations to the composition, but that's 5.5 minutes. So they have to hold off this entire second point.
Defense point A on both times. First push was enough to capture. So defense point A, first thing you'd put in the to-do list for Rogue on Temple of Anubis. Now it's all about a single checkpoint capture. It's no longer to the 0.1%. We are on the April 27th patch, so you need that first checkpoint if you're Mighty AOD.
Unco playing with fire here. Grief doesn't quite get that pop-up headshot in onto that Zenyatta. No, Mighty AOD pushing in very aggressively up the right flank. Have vision of everybody. They lock down wins with the sleep dart, and they take them out, and that's just going to be it.
There you go.
Already ticking up, so 1 on the board for Mighty AOD will take us to a 4th map. Rogue still at match point, but Mighty will not go down without a fight. The assault maps, this was the big question coming into this series for Rogue. How were they going to perform? Had been avoiding these for so very long. And honestly, they look a bit lost on Anubis.
The point A defense is the real thing that seemed to stick out to me. That was the one time they didn't look like their completely well-oiled machine. Losing out on the first push on both. Took a bit longer the second time around, but not enough. Ends up being pretty academic in the end for Mighty AOD. You do get a win on the board, which to many fans will be a surprise in and of itself.
Yeah, certainly would. Again, one of the expected weakest teams coming out of the promotion tournament. And the expected weakest in Group A. Put a win on the board, though. Keep their hopes alive, to keep the fans energized here in the audience, at least for a bit longer. And with that sound, we know that the tactical pause will be coming through.
See who it was enacted by. suspicion would be Rogue.
That's going to be Mighty.
Suspicion is wrong.
So, just want that 3 minutes to try to gather themselves. They finally have that win on the board. Now it all comes down to this escort map that'll be coming up next.
Agency is over to Rogue to choose the escort map.
We saw how well they handled King's Row. So basically, just cut out the extra step of capping the payload first.
Rogue's time on escort, a lot more fruitful than their time onto assault. Much more comfortable in the escort lines. 12-1 in those 27 out of 34 matches that are on Wednesday's Lab. So it'll be very intriguing to see where they pick.
And that's the other thing, they do have the pick, whether or not they want to go for side or map. You'd have to expect at this point it's going to be map.
I mean, that seems to have been the trend basically every time. You know, it gives you more agency. We only recently allowed there to actually be the ability to choose side for the team that is not choosing map. So there is still some element of choice available to the winning team.
We'll see where they want to go. Dorado, Route 66, Gibraltar, the options. We saw Gibraltar in our first set, and X6 was able to take down Kongdoo Uncia there with one hell of a defense, that triple DPS defense coming out right in front of the payload spawn. Could be right up the alley of Rogue, but maybe they want to opt in for a bit more standard of a map in Dorado.
Options upon options. Still a long leash to play with if you are Rogue, winning the first 2 maps of the day. Still heavily favored, but first wayward momentum for them in their Apex re-debut. Intriguing that it wasn't Rogue to actually call this tactical pause. Would have assumed this would have been the time for the stabilizer. They still get a stabilizer, but advantage to them by Mighty AOD.
Man, how crazy would it be if this ended up being a reverse sweep at the hands of Mighty AOD?
That would be a result that would set the internet ablaze, that's for sure, Achilles.
Yep. Post-game thread might just everybody lose their minds.
You know, that's usually the way when a Western team makes their debut, one way or the other. Whether it's this tears of happiness or sadness.
So far, it's somewhere in between.
Yes.
Leaning more towards happiness at the moment for Rogue. I mean, given their performance there on King's Row, we have to expect that with their map choice especially coming in, they should be able to find some success. But AOD, they do show a breath of life. You know, they have that second win coming through. Whether or not that's going to be enough momentum to bring them to another win, to bring us to a 5th map tonight, is going to be the question. Seems unlikely, but still is possible.
And it does deny this Rogue lineup's ability to match what the last Rogue lineup's ability did, because of course Rogue went 9-0 with their previous lineup way back in Apex Season 1, so...
Bring back the Season 1 roster. It was so much better.
Hey, a blemish is a blemish, Gilios. Blemish there.
You know, there's going to be some people spouting that on the interwebs. But still, speed bumps, first map, very convincing King Row. Assault definitely needs to be boot camped out here by Rogue. That is probably going to be the focus of their scrims moving forward, you'd have to expect. And I wonder how much they've actually played during their scrims because of, you know, the rumors that we've heard of how good they've been doing. How much of that has been on Assault?
This is information not available to us, maybe revealed in interviews in future weeks. Waiting to see what Rogue does decide when it comes to escort map. 66, Dorado, and Watchpoint Gibraltar are the 3. So Gibraltar earlier.
Wow. I'm surprised.
Great minds think alike, apparently, with the 4 teams today. We'll be returning to Gibraltar. No point A claim in our first match of the night.
And I mean, maybe this priority really just does have to do with the ability to run that very aggressive triple DPS right in front of the spawn of the payload.
X6 definitely did their best Rogue impression with a very aggressive triple DPS defense, like you say, setting a very easy target when it came to claiming on their attack phase. So, see if the Great Minds Think Alike analogy will extend to that. When it comes to Rogue, though, pretty expected there, but very interesting to see how they set up, especially on attack on Gibraltar.
All right, well, all comes down to this now here, Rogue. If they want to close this out, not be taken to a 5th map, not be threatened by a potential reverse sweep. Need to close things out here on Watchpoint Gibraltar. Over onto Escort on their map pick. Odds in their favor, but Mighty AOD with a second wind. See if they can get it done. Let's go ahead, jump onto our 4th map.
Get it?
Well, fans still chiming in here, showing their support. The Mighty fans getting a bit louder, you'd have to say, after the win right there on Temple of Anubis.
It gave him something to cheer about, so that's at least something to talk about.
Certainly did. Mighty will be kicking us off here on attack. See how far they can make it, because Kongdoo and Uncia, they didn't make it very far in their set. It's like 56 meters, something along those lines.
Just under the bridge, basically, was furthest push they could do.
Yeah, not even to the top of the ramp, really, after the underpass there.
We definitely have more well-known DPS players in the roles compared to X6, where we saw Choyo Bin flexing against all expectations onto the Genji. This time it's Nico Soon and AKM very much on their most known heroes in recent time.
He got play of the game.
He did. They can never take that away from him.
No, they cannot. We'll see what Mighty wants to bring forward, though.
A lot of adjustments.
Maybe
last
looking
second.
for that McCree. And Criff, he's playing forward. Maybe looking for the Widowmaker.
They don't have the full 3-peat with the Mercy, but do have the Zenyatta Discord Orb. Inches
way
around
out.
the back.
Yeah,
Hasn't been spotted, now is.
Oh. Finds that Tracer. Pop up onto the high ground. Player on the left side
Oh!
already gets the headshot onto Nico, and Soon has fallen as well. Nox able to answer one onto Thorncut, but all three DPS now supports falling on the side of Mighty AOD. And Karib, what a performance on the Widowmaker. Completely blows the map wide open. They won't be able to get the payload too far off of that team wipe, but good God, let's take another look at this.
Yeah, the first shot onto Nico was nice, but watch the end here, the instant double right at the end. First Ana, and onto Winston, if you don't mind. That was some insane openings.
Absolutely
They got a team
brutal.
wipe in the first 40 seconds.
Yeah, and already have pushed that payload about as far as Kongdoo and Uncia had managed to. Grief still sniping up from the high ground, looking for AKM, but he's going to lose out on that fight. He does get taken down, but still Rogue are very much losing out here. 4 members have just fallen. The payload is almost to point A already. But they go for the last second contest. Looks like the answer is going to be yes as Soon dashes in, but he gets taken out immediately. Fate just zapping him to death with that Tesla cannon. Does the same to Nico. And Rogue just piling one by one, but it's just bodies being stacked up by Mighty AOD for the mass grave.
Yeah, insane. We're going to have the point A pushed in pretty damn fast time. 5 minutes in the hangar phase. This is definitely the much more achievable phase.
Oh my lord.
Put your hands away, Achilles. You're getting a bit too excited. But that was Kariv basically off his own back there on the Widowmaker with some insane plays, insane flicks to open up. And we haven't seen the hangar phase in a very long time on Gibraltar.
Yeah, we really haven't. Gonna get a side of it now, though. Thorncut getting jumped on. The Primal Rage gonna be popped just to try to kill that Zenyatta. They get him in the end. Nox investing quite a bit, though. And AKM and Unco both go down very swiftly. Nox finding a second kill as he gets rid of TM, but payload not really being halted as it makes it about halfway through the hangar phase already. Soon trying to win this Tracer battle, trying to get a couple more shots in, but has to force the recall out on himself as he goes low. He'll have to kite back. Actually, the Winston jumping in almost takes him out.
Continues, we'd actually see the Transcendence used by Mighty. They want to keep this push up.
Pushing forward, Pulse Bomb coming through, but it will not get the kill. Sound barrier down from both teams. Nico with the Dragon Blade drawn out, trying to find a kill here into the enemy Winston. He won't find much, but AKM is starting to pop off. 3 kills rolling through Helix Rockets, taking out Erster off the backside of that fight. So Rogue finally finding some ground to stand on. They halt the payload. It's already made it quite a ways forward, and there's still 3.5 minutes on the clock for Mighty.
While it's a severe investment to use all 3 DPS ults to get that stall, remember they got both support ults at the same time, and the DPS ult, much quicker charge time than the support ults. So for now, Mighty AOD will find it hard to actually force a push, and only ult available right now in the game is Soldiers. Finding an approach here with no support ults is difficult. Mighty AOD.
TM popping that attack visor, does get taken out. Not safe on that high ground, nor is Fade. he gets finished off, and now you can see Mighty AOD struggling to make it through these very tiny choke points of the doorways.
They need to adjust their team comp here. The hero lineup they have right now is certainly not going to get them back onto the cart. That's why we see already the Widowmaker. Well, they needed something different because they need a new identity because they couldn't get to the cart with the current lineup.
Well, already Widowmaker having some troubles. Just stay alive here. Now have to operate off that low ground, trying to get some shots in.
No sight lines for now on top of the map right now is Rogue. Still, a lot of that 5 minutes has already been stymied by Rogue.
It's been a good hold here. Once that hangar door closes, the avenues of approach are severely limited into these choke points, so this is a good opportunity for Rogue so far. And Mighty just keeps struggling to get through.
There's no good entrances so far for Mighty, although they do get a 2-for-1.
And Nico and Unco go down. AKM here with the Nano Visor, trying to fire away in onto Fate. Gets a lot of damage onto him, but with the Primal Rage, he's still rather okay. He's finished off Thorn Cut. We see DM off screen going down as Nox finishes him off, but Urster will trade that one. AKM now looking for a target. Has to sprint his way back, but Mighty AOD, they finally found their way back onto the payload. Dragon Blade drawn out here by Urster. Good deflection as he tries to get the kill in onto the enemy Lucio. Won't find it. Nico trades up, winning out the Genji battle. And that'll hold the payload yet again. Kareev now struggling to find these shots. Might have to swap off yet again.
It's less about the payload being halted. This can't get access to the payload. Can Mighty AOD. They're trading down in almost every scenario. Now they get no value from the Dragon Blade. They don't have a Reinhardt to inch their way forward. They kind of need to dive in, and so far Rogue have been steadfast in stopping them from every different vantage point. 5 minutes becomes a minute and a half, and Mighty AOD haven't made many adjustments.
No, they have not. Nico going forward now. Dragon Blade drawn out. Sound barrier from both teams, keeping them alive throughout the duration of that. Genji ultimate, but Thorn Cut will go down. Fate trying to leap his way out. It's taken out. Unco able to finish him off, and Nico dashes forward, gets rid of sleep. So both of those supports taken out from the side of Mighty AOD, and the clock is just being bled dry now. A minute left, and they haven't been able to get it much further.
So we can call point A hiccup for Rogue, given they've really stick the landing. Absolutely, it was a apparent one. Again, the sort of thing that in VOD review they can learn a lot from.
Don't get headshot repeatedly is the VOD review.
Hot tips right there. R/Korean advice.
All right, well, Pulse Bomb comes down. They find DM, so good opener here from Soon. It's a recall off, coming around from the back flank, looking for sleep yet again. This goes down, but still trade-ups coming through from Rogue as they just go ahead and push forward. So try to even the score. Slices away, finds Unco and Soon. Attack Visor here from AKM, barely staying alive inside his healing zone. Will make it out. Oh, but right at the last second, Fate jumps forward, smacks him down. Payload starting to push yet again here for Mighty AOD. Need to stick to this one as it's just 10 seconds left on the clock. It looks like they might just get the completion here onto point B. Does get stopped off right at the last second there by Soon. And Rogue will regain the high ground here. They try to push back in. We'll see what Mighty AOD can do. Opening onto wins from Urster is a nice one, but AKM trades back in, getting rid of the Genji. They get rid of Fate.
No one's on AKM. Great tracking
Pulse
from
bomb
here.
from Soon comes up with a double kill. Kareev
it.
goes down. That's going to be the team wipe. And that will be the hold right in front of point B here for Rogue, but definitely sloppy at the start.
Yeah, world-class hangers phase, but point A certainly left a lot to be desired. Kareev took it off his own back, was playing with his own basketball, dunked everyone, and got them that big start. And you thought, okay, with such a big time bank, with how achievable the hanger phase is in comparison to point A on Gibraltar, thought that once again it could be a big time bank for Mighty AOD, but the Rogue class shone through on that second phase. Felt like Mighty AOD was kind of out of ideas, never switched to Reinhardt, never really looked for different ways. Once the cart was halfway down, they only got to it 2 out of 6 attacks, it felt like. And in the end of point B, basically point B, is the goal here for Rogue. First goal always is actually getting to point A, though, given that so many teams this week have failed to do that.
That's very true. So Mighty, we'll see what they're going to bring out as far as their defense is concerned. At the moment, looking like we might just have the double tank, double DPS, but Kareev is yet again going back over to that Widowmaker.
I think if anyone deserves to be a bit stubborn about his Widowmaker, it is Kareev this game.
Definitely a good performance, but he's going to need that.
It's not what Pine was running. Remember, Pine was this trio we've been talking about, the Mercy, Zenyatta, and the Widowmaker, that gives you access to body shots that do 202 damage. You can just body shot and kill one of the triple DPS. Just such in meta right now is massive boom. You are investing 3 heroes and also heavily trusting the accuracy. So Kriv doesn't quite garner that sort of support in terms of his lineup this time.
But he does gain the respect from his teammates to say, okay, you know what? Go ahead, run it on defense.
But it is a purely high ground comp. There is no dropping down here compared to the other comps. You've seen no Tracer,
It's the only one that
no
we can really
Genji.
drop.
This is the sort of comp where you have to allow for some free meterage from Rogue.
Here we go.
Nico will finally be onto the Widowmaker, so this isn't Genji or Diva.
Already jumping far forward, but he doesn't see anybody.
This is a very respectful comp.
He sees
from
them wrapping
AOD.
around, so he's actually going to trade off here. Doesn't want to stick with the Widowmaker.
Well, he was looking for triple DPS and didn't find it. It was a much more balanced lineup from Mighty AOD.
Well, Unco already going down. It's going to be a nice opener here. And that's going to be Kriv getting a hit in onto soon. Function coming through there from Nico. The Deadly could have taken him out, but for now, AOD will hold. They could just keep playing forward, looking for Nox, who's made his way all the way into the back line. Kriv goes low, keeps himself up.
This does allow different vantage points here for Rogue. Gets him again.
Yeah, that's going to be soon going down. Doesn't quite get Unco. He'll be okay, at least for the moment, but getting rid of the Tracer is going to be quite nice. He's going to drop around to the backside. Doesn't really want to stick around there. He's just going to get chased down by Nico. Over onto the Diva now.
He never adjusted his positioning, so he'll just allow the adjustments like the Diva to ruin the Widowmaker's day, and now the dive is on from Rogue.
Yeah, really good Helix rockets there. Finding Ursa around the corner to take him out. He gets rid of DM. Several members on the side of Mighty AOD going down. Lose Unco yet again, but Rogue very much winning out the fight overall. Attack-Visor's ready to go here for AKM, but you have to say that he probably doesn't need to use it. Kriv's still on the high ground on that Widowmaker. Probably going to have to trade off pretty soon here. Looking for the shot in onto the Tracer. Won't find it, has to back off. And that will be the completion here onto point A for Rogue. So 5 minutes in the bank, just have to make it to point B. They can go through the hangar phase. They will close out the series.
And Kriv's Widowmaker is now starting to cost them the stubbornness of staying on that big die. It's the third time already this map.
Yeah, and the Infrasight, not exactly an ultimate that you don't swap off for. So he will go ahead, utilize his time to go ahead and get onto the Tracer, try to build a pulse bomb. He's like a multi-man explosion. Really turn the tides, because right now Rogue have plenty of momentum. About to be 5 ultimates, nearly 6 as Unco almost has that Transcendence ready to go. Meanwhile, that's going to be the Nanovisor coming out. Nico dashing forward,
completely
blocking
occupied
the
by
entire
Nico.
time. There's nothing really he can do. He does find an opening, a very slight one to pick off AKM. But Thorn Cut actually, the struck takes out Nox. Nice little hold here. It's going to be the 1-for-2 trade in favor of Mighty AOD at the moment, but Kriv will go down, evening the odds. As soon picks that one up. They'll lose wins, they'll lose sleep, so just back and forth from both teams to keep it as even as possible.
Nico buying so much space. He has been all over DM on the Soldier this game, negating 2 ults, just the defense matrix.
I mean, he'd love to be all over him as Genji, but it just hasn't been working out, so he's gone for the tankier side of things.
Hey, whatever gets you the big W, it's worth.
Exactly. Get that fight money. Nice drop down. Helix Rockets finding Kriv there on that Tracer. They take him out and they just keep pushing forward. 3.5 minutes. Mighty AOD already giving up about 75% of this push over to Rogue. Victory in their sights. See how they want to close this one out. Fate jumping in, but then his corridor in on top of the monkey, and he gets taken out immediately. Nico picking that one up, just constantly holding down that left like the machine guns, burning through his HP bar. 3 kills, 4, 5. Urster, the only one left alive. That's going to be it. Rogue, definitely not as smooth of a ride as they would have liked, but they come out on top in the end. They win Gibraltar. They win their debut match with this roster on LAN in Apex Season 3.
No fist bumps or theatrics from the Rogue team. It looks like business as usual, but when it comes to some of our initial questions, okay, dominant on the online scene, can they translate to LAN? First answer is yes. The hiccups you mentioned are there. Defense specifically on Assault, and in general, Assault is a map type they haven't necessarily had to interact with, something to work on. Their defense on Gibraltar went aggressive and got punished. Again, something to iterate on, not necessarily work on. Kriv was a bit superhuman with some of his shots, but apart from that, it was the Rogue we expected. It is the Rogue who will give Kongdoo, Panthera, and Lunatic-Hai a real run for their money. They already topped the group because they come in 3-1.